Hello, guys. You're welcome to Crypto Space. I'm Chumba Augustine. Today, we're seeing a very, very bloody week in the crypto market. I call it a bloody week because, from what you can see on my screen, everything is all red and nothing seems to be green except for some one or two altcoins, perhaps just one altcoin that's showing a green sign. But today, the market is so down today, and you might have wondered why there is a total sell off in the crypto space. A total sell off in the crypto space is because of the level of inflation. Now, the inflation that hit the United States has gone up to 40%, and the major cryptocurrencies Bitcoin and Ethereum have lost close to like 15% of their what. Now you can imagine how much loss investors that are willing to stay in the market have sustained. But there is a massive sell-off which actually drops the market. Well, today we're going to be looking at how well Bitcoin and Ethereum has done so far. Well, not how well, but rather how well they've crashed. Well, that's still nice putting it that way. You can see Shiba at minus 26.3%, and then KSM minus 31.9%, and then Dodge is at minus 32.8%. Well, Dodge hasn't been doing well so far, but the market is not so good for everyone. But look at Nier, which seems to be a bit on the bigger side today, minus 36.9%. Well, everybody is having a fair share of the inflation which is hitting the market. You know, if you followed my previous video, the crypto markets had a very hard time when the Russia and the Ukraine war started, and it affected the market because of at the level of inflation at that point, and now it's still affecting the market, and the inflation is pushing up. Well, let's look at the impact on Bitcoin, then we'll look at the impact on Ethereum as well. Then we'll analyze it and see where it's gonna go possibly in the year. Stay with me. Now, this is how Bitcoin has fared so far. Now, right from when the massive sellout started, like last 2 weeks ago, that was when we witnessed a depegging when Terra Luna USD actually depegged, and then we saw a UST, a stable coin, falling below $1. That actually shook the market and also affected the confidence of investors a whole lot. That is where you're seeing this first rectangle here, because that is what transpired that made the Terra Luna to actually crash, and that was also because of a massive sellout. And this massive sellout, basically, this period are caused by the global inflation. Now, investors are scared, and now, currently, if you notice, most investors don't go into altcoins that much because altcoins cannot certainly stand the level of inflation that is hitting us right now. We'll have more of investors in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So investors are leveraging their assets on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are the major assets. Now, if you checked, on the first fall, allow me to call it the first fall. On the first fall, Bitcoin went as low as 26,670 dollars as low. Now it came from about 39,000 within how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Now, if you've been following my videos, I earlier said that those actually predicting that Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 this year, they actually got it wrong. They got it so wrong because there's no way Bitcoin is hitting $100,000. The best it can see this year is 50,000. That is if it's actually going to see 50,000. But let's keep watching. Nobody can actually predict these things, right? Because the market is driven by the demand of forces, the forces of demand and supply, and sometimes the emotions of the investors play a major role. Now, let's look at what transpired here currently in the market. Now, if you check, the market currently is at $23,289,000. You can see how down Bitcoin has come. This is just all this happened within the last 7, 8 days. You can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 days because I'm using the day time frame. All this happened within 7 days. Bitcoin has crashed this much. Well, this is not the end because I'm actually seeing right now, because from all indication, if you go over the chart, you're going to see that Bitcoin is actually trying to build a momentum to come up. Now, if you check the line I drew here, you see how far it has gone, and it's still coming down again. It's still coming down on this last rectangle. Now, there's definitely going to be a push, and the push is going to come before the end of the month. Well, this is not a financial advice. I'm just a guy in his space saying what he knows on how he has studied the market. Now, this push is going to come by the end of the month. Now, there are also predictions that Bitcoin is going to push as much as 45,000 again this month. Now, I feel this is the point where investors are going to push in so much because this is a very, very good time to buy in. Remember, if you've been following my video, I always say that the best point to buy is when the market is down. When the market is down, 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 when you buy in, you will be making much more profit. But don't forget your dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging helps you leverage your loss, helps you manage the market, and helps you manage the volatility of the market as well, because if you're buying at a high point and then it crashes, if you don't buy, you'll have to wait a long time for the market to recover to that point where you bought before you make profit. But if you buy below when the markets crash, you're pushing down your recovery point and making more profit there. So that is the one good advantage of the dollar cost averaging. So this is how far Bitcoin has fared so far. Well, it's not so much of a good experience, but we're looking at the market pushing back again. Like from our indication, it's definitely going to push back. That is how the crypto market does. So now we're going to go back to looking at Ethereum, and let's see how Ethereum has fared so far. Well, Ethereum is still suffering the same fate as Bitcoin, but let's look at it right now. So this is the Ethereum chart, and if you notice the same fate that befell the Bitcoin, the almighty Bitcoin, also fell on Ethereum, which is the massive sellout. The massive sellout that is caused by inflation. That is the major thing that caused this sellout because investors are skeptical. They don't want to lose money, neither do they want to stay in the market for so long because stocks are dropping across the globe. Stocks are dropping across the globe, and the inflation has hit 40% in the United States. And Ethereum and Bitcoin has lost close to like 15% within the last 7 days. That is after a massive sellout that cost a stable coin to the peg. So let's look at how Ethereum has fared so far. Now, from this first rectangle, you can see that this is almost similar to what happened with Bitcoin. Now, the first massive sellout that was caused by the inflation that caused Luna to the peg, like I said earlier, also affected here. You see, it drops to as low as 1,800. Ethereum that was at 4,800 all-time high came down to 1,800 and now is at a shocking 1,232. Well, you can imagine that. Now the investors still staying in the market still have hope. Yes, I share their hope, I share their belief because the market is certainly going to bounce back pretty soon. You don't know when, but soon it's going to bounce back. Like I said, the market is we're looking at the end of this month before the market comes up again. Now let's come down to what has happened in the past 7 days so far. You can see that Ethereum came up from 1,867. Well, I was very much hopeful that it will push up, but all of a sudden investors couldn't take it anymore, and then they sold out massively. And currently we are at 1,234 and still counting. It went down to as low as $1,165. You can imagine that. Ethereum. which is basically the second coin with the largest market capitalization in the world. After Bitcoin, you have Ethereum. Now, see what is happening right now. Well, this is as a result of the inflation, like I said earlier. Anyway, if you're a new subscriber, thank you for always subscribing. If you're new to this channel, thank you for coming around, and do well to hit the like and the subscribe button if you are new on this channel. So let's proceed. Now, Ethereum so far, prediction is that Ethereum is going to hit back 3,800. Yes, I think that is the best I see Ethereum doing this year, but Ethereum might not hit its all-time high. Whoever is saying that Ethereum is going to get up to $10,000 this year is basically and certainly not true, and it's not going to happen. Now, if you look at historically how Ethereum has fared so far, you're going to see, even if you should draw, a line to check how it's doing so far, you're going to see that it's difficult for Ethereum to actually push more than it has pushed to actually um hit $10,000. So it's much more a futile fight for Ethereum to hit $100,000 this time around. So I see Ethereum getting down to 38,000, and that's it. And that's it. Now, if you see how the market is now, you're gonna understand that Ethereum is not getting to $10,000. Now, this is the prediction for the Ethereum market, and also you've had a prediction for the Bitcoin market and how the market has fared so far. Now, if you find this content useful, kindly hit the like and the subscribe button, because it does help me a lot for Bitcoin to act for YouTube to actually recognize that I'm doing something and I'm telling my people about cryptocurrency. I'm still Chumbo Augustine. Thank you for sticking around. Now.